Hi, welcome to Daydreams of Quilts. Today we're making this Two Trees quilt block, which is the fourth free pattern in our August quilt block series, which is camping themed. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a diagonal line on the back of our background squares. This pattern is a free download from my blog, daydreamsofquiltsblog.com. I'll put a link in the description below. So you can draw your diagonal line on each of the 8 background squares. And these are going to go in the corners of our tree tops. I'm using a ceramic tip pencil which does not snag on the fabric, and I will put an affiliate link in the description below if I can find an Amazon link for it. So once you get your lines all drawn, we're just going corner to corner from one set of corners. Then we can sew right on the line, and we'll trim a 1/4 inch from the line. So we'll head to the sewing machine. We're going to line up our needle with that pencil line and sew directly on the line. And we'll do that for all 4 corners of our tree top. And this is going to give our tree top a little bit of a rounded look. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for the other tree top. And then we'll head to the cutting board and trim. So we're going to take our clear ruler and line up the 1/4 inch mark that's on our ruler with that pencil line, and then trim away the corner so we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So right on the seam with the 1/4 inch mark, and then trim. And we're going to do that for all 4 corners on each of the treetop pieces. Then we'll flip those corners out and press towards the corners. And once we have them pressed, we can sew our tree trunk pieces. So we'll put a background rectangle on each side of the brown tree trunk piece. And we're using a 1/4 inch seam for all of our seams. And just a regular stitch length of about 2.5. And I'm sewing with 100% cotton Orifil thread. So we'll get those pieces lined up and sew that seam. Then we're going to press our seams towards the tree trunks. Whenever possible, we're going to try to press towards the dark side so that it doesn't show through on our lighter fabrics. Sometimes it's not possible, but in this case it is. We'll get our second tree trunk done. So this is the 4th and final block in our free camping block pattern series for the month of August. And they'll all be together in a playlist here on YouTube, and they will all be on the Daydreams of Quilts blog to download the cutting instructions. Okay, now we can sew our tree trunks to the bottom of our tree. And then we will press towards the tree trunk because of the triangles in the corners of the tree top. It's easier to press away from the triangles to get that seam to lay a bit flatter. So we'll do both pieces. They're both the same. And all of the blocks in this series finish at 12 inches square. They're 12.5 inches unfinished before they get sewn into a quilt top. So once you combine all the tents and the trees, you can really make it look like a whole campground full of campers. Okay, now we're going to sew our 1.5 by 12.5 inch strips on the left side of each of the trees. And then we'll sew the two halves of the block together. Once we're done, we're going to press towards the strips. And just be careful that you don't flip your seams up while you're going over them, the ones that you've already pressed. Okay, so we'll get those pressed. And then we can sew our two halves of our block together. So there's going to be a strip between the two trees. And I'm just going to pin this one because it's a 12.5 inch seam and it's possible that it could get a bit wobbly. So I'm just attaching some clips here to hold everything together. And we'll sew right down that center seam. And we'll press towards the seam when we're finished. Okay, and here is our finished block. Thank you for sewing along with me today. Don't forget to click like and subscribe for more free videos from Daydreams of Quilts. Thank you.